You've come to the right place, traveler.
Alright lads, welcome back to the channel, Cursedboy here, and we have another video for last Epoch. We got the blog post for Lich and Necromancer changes for Season 3 last night, and it's an absolute awesome one, and we have another awesome one coming today that we're gonna be checking on stream, of course, because the next one is gonna be Beastmaster Companion changes, quality of life changes, which is always good in last Epoch, and of course we are gonna have some minion AI changes as well. Now, let's talk about the Lich and the Necromancer because we have a lot of things to do to talk about here, and yeah, very good change so far, especially for the Lich. We don't get as much information as I would like for Necro yet, but of course Friday we're gonna have the patch notes, we're gonna be doing the usual long reading through, and I'm gonna be giving you the TLDR on Saturday as well. Now, the new Lich skill, the Flay, that's a pretty awesome skill so far. It's a melee skill that has a little bit of a step up to 3 meters, so you can kind of charge into your enemies. When you kill enemies with it, it also causes these blood eruptions here. You can check out the video, as you can see. Now, one of the first things that I'm curious about is if there is any node on the skill tree to make those blood eruptions happen on rares and bosses as well, right? Because those are gonna be fantastic for clear, but for single target they may not really matter at the end of the day. The skill looks really good. The mana cost is a little bit high, but we probably can make it better with some of the nodes. Now, we have a couple of extremely powerful nodes, and one of them is Deadly Plot. So this one is basically mana stacking for Lich, which it wasn't really a thing in the past so much, right? And now we are getting up to 20% more spell damage per 100 maximum mana. It increases the mana cost of Flay by up to 8. And this more damage multiplier applies to everything that the Flay procs. So basically the blood eruptions that you just saw, and there are hints here that it will also be proccing Reblood and Chaos Balls, right? So this is very strong, very powerful indeed, because we can do a melee skill but for spells. So it's a nice hybrid type of a build there that it seems to be something very appealing right now. We have another one with the Flay here, transference. So basically this is transferring your active aura of decay for 6 seconds to a boss or a rare enemy. Now once those 6 seconds pass out, the aura of decay is not coming back to you, you need to reactivate it. This was answered on the Discord, on the Ask the Devs, of course, as per usual. We have bleed to poison and bleed to frostbite as well. So Flay has some really nice conversions already. We also have necrotic damage conversion, and this converts bleed to damned. Now keep in mind, another note that we will see very soon is that Lich can dual wield, and you can dual wield axes, which is very important here because all of those conversions, as you can notice, they're converting the bleed chance into something else, and we have those Dragonbone axes, right, that they have up to 100% increased bleed chance on hit. On the implicit, you can get bleed on the suffix as well. So it's a very interesting thing to see here because Lich might be very strong for some ailment play as well. Other than that, we have the new unique that Heavy created. He has created the Death's Embrace in the past, another basically kind of a Lich unique, but this one is actually pretty damn awesome, and it has a lot of synergies. It could have value for mage builds as well because it kind of promotes mana stacking in a sense. So let's see here, it has flat critical strike chance, which is very nice. And we are getting the Gathering Storm treatment, 50% of added melee damage on equipped weapons applied as added spell damage for Chaos Bolt, right? So this should be applying your melee damage from both weapons, right, for Chaos Bolt. Now, Chaos Bolt, it is one of the skills that it doesn't have any flat damage on the skill tree, and it also doesn't have very good critical chance support, right? So these two lines over here, they cover both for Chaos Bolt. So I could very much see builds using the Executioner's Tithe for Chaos Bolt procs from the Flay and maybe even Rebloods, etc., right? So it's a very interesting unique already, and it makes your harvest getting a lot more damage and more area, but with 5-second cooldown. But whenever you are using that great harvest and you hit a boss or a rare, you restore up to 30%, 20 to 30% of your maximum mana, which is a massive amount of mana restoration here. And as we saw already, we have some mana synergy. Now keep in mind that especially for a Lich, right, mana stacking, it is a little bit harder than it is, for example, on a Sork, at least for the time being, because the passive tree doesn't really have any increased percent mana or a lot of flat mana, etc. Now that of course could change, and this could become a really powerful build in the meta for Season 3. There is another synergy here that I'm gonna show you here. So you're getting 1 stack of Spirit Battery when you kill an enemy or when you hit a rare or boss, and you can get 3 stacks per 2 seconds. So it is capped. Now, the one thing that is not capped is how many stacks you can get to a maximum number, right? And we don't know. This is something that I would like to ask on the devs to clarify for us. We don't know if whenever you're getting a new stack, if it actually refreshes the duration of the previous. If that's okay, this is gonna be an absolutely insane thing that it's a little bit hidden in my opinion, because each stack gives you 2 to 4% maximum mana. So in a few seconds you can actually get another 60% of your maximum mana, increase the maximum mana, which is absolutely fantastic, especially because it can scale your damage and you get more mana restoration after that. Now personally I don't think they will be refreshing the duration, but we'll see about that. We've seen crazier things happen in last epoch. A very interesting unique nonetheless, added to the list of interesting uniques that we are getting in the next season. Now Reblood is getting a massive overhaul basically, so it becomes this like a beam, let's say, that it hits all enemies in its path, and it creates orbs like it does right now, but for each enemy that it hits. So the restoration or the mana ward generation that that we are getting from blood, from Orb of Blood, so from the blood orbs, it could be a lot higher, especially during echoes now. So that's the first part that I wanna mention. And another thing is, this has been clarified. The increased area of effect, it increases the length and the width. So in theory you can actually make it a little, quite a bit chunky, so you can hit a lot of enemies. And there is another note in the tree that we are getting here, that if you hit 3 enemies or if you hit a rare and the boss, you are also casting Mirror Shards. Now one of the interesting notes that we are getting here is Blood Bond, and when you're directly casting Reblood, you are attaching Blood Tether. This already exists in a couple of from a couple of sources in the Lich. But yeah, it's a very powerful ailment, physical ailment, right? And it does physical damage over time. As you can see here, it has 200% effectiveness per second, which is very nice. Because it's a physical spell, you can actually get, you can scale this base damage. And there are 2 very important things here. Deals 1% more damage per bleed, so you can get it pretty much to have like 100,000 more damage if you are stacking maximum bleeds 999 and above on your bosses. And it also gives you 3% of your damage dealt Lich. So very nice indeed. This could help bleed builds with their single target quite a bit, and it could be a thing for both Warlock and Lich. I've already explored a bleed Warlock this season. A couple of issues that I didn't really like for the build, so I never made the build guide, of course. But yeah, it was one of the builds that I explored. had an interesting concept. It didn't work out as well as I would like, but one of the things was single target. And mainly single target, you know, on champions, on rares and stuff like that. So this could definitely be actually fixing it. We'll see about that. It's a very interesting thing indeed. This is the mirror shard, of course, here. And now, let's go to the Necromancer. So we are getting the new Assemble Abomination. They're making a major change to Assemble Abomination, and Mike was kind enough on Discord to actually link the full tooltip of the Abomination. I'm gonna give it to you here. If you want, you can pause the video to read all of the details, but they're changing quite a few things on how the Abomination is being summoned and how it works, right? And that's pretty damn good. So basically it makes it so that it actually remembers what kind of minions it absorbed. Like if it absorbed skeletons and skeletal mages, for example, then when you have skeletons and skeletal mages out, if you summon them, then it will absorb them to actually restore its hit points. Now that can be good, it can be a little bit of a downside, but the positive part is that you can make it so that you can use maybe your skeletons and skeletal mages to summon your big abomination, and also use flame raids, for example, or raids in general as another part of your minion army, right? Or something like that. So there are a few good implications here when it comes to Assemble Abomination. It seems very strong. We are getting a very nice and interesting node here, Tower of Bones, which makes Stomp getting a massive more damage multiplier and area, and a little bit of cooldown reduction per bone golem that has been absorbed, right? So this has already very good synergy with Aaron's Will. Now keep in mind, Snapshot is gone and stuff like that, so basically you cannot equip Aaron's Will, get your Abomination out, and then equip something else. You would need to keep your Aaron's Will on you at all times. Basically what happens, this has been clarified by Mike once again on Discord. Thank God for his good work on our questions about those posts. So whenever you are having, let's say, 6 summon skeletons, and your Abomination absorbs those 6 summon skeletons, right? Because this is your maximum number. If you do anything that messes up with that maximum number, your Abomination goes poof, and you need to resummon it, right? So it's the same here with Aaron's Will. That's why I'm clarifying it. I think it's important for you to know. We have another interesting note here. If a skeletal archer has been absorbed, the Abomination casts Eternal Arrow every 4 seconds, and from what Mike said, this seems to be to have a couple of other nodes that boost this, and basically it does physical damage and has 100% chance to recurve, basically like Heartseeker, so it's gonna have extra hits and all of that. Mike said that you can get this to have, with the 4-second cooldown here, to have about 95% uptime. So you cannot get 2 arrows at the same time, but you basically have 1 arrow out at all times pretty much. And it also scales with with your intelligence on the bow flat damage for it. So it's an interesting one. If it's gonna be a strong one or not, we'll see about that. We don't get any more information about Abomination. It seems like they are pushing Abomination into a little bit of a different play style, and I kind of like it. I wasn't a big fan of the Abomination so far, but yeah, if it's strong, I might actually build around it this time around. The next skill that we are discussing here is Aura of Decay, and we are finally getting some really nice changes on the Aura of Decay. So on the Aura of Decay will be having a trail as well that will poison 4 times a second, basically the same as when they are inside your aura, and will also your poison chance on hit will be applied to at 40% effectiveness. This was buffed a little bit. Now, the biggest thing here is that while your Aura Decay is active, you take 30% less poison damage. This is now 50%. So this gets a little bit reduction, but we are getting another line here that says that additionally you take 50% less damage taken from your own aura of decay. So this increases the less damage taken from the poisons, or if you convert it, because we can convert it into physical from your bleeds, from your aura of decay already, from this part over here, and we probably still have some of that on our skill tree as well, but we'll have to see, of course. So yeah, it feels like they're trying to push Aura of Decay as an actual skill and not what it has been for the last few years, which was a complete mess and utter failure of a skill, let's be honest here. Now, we do have, once again, damage conversion, and this part of it over here is very important to note about the damage conversion. All of the effects related to poison and poison resistance are converted to bleed and physical resistance, right? So basically, the the less poison damage here, I think it's becoming less physical damage over time, right? And everything else is also converted from the tree. We are getting bleed chance effectiveness at 30% instead of 40%. So each one of those conversions has their own different effectiveness for hit. Once again, I'm mentioning the axes because you can dual wield them. So keep that in mind. I've already started, theory crafting a couple of concepts about bleed because it seems to be super interesting on Lich right now, in my opinion. We are also getting cold conversion with Aura of Decay. That was a surprise, but I like it a lot. It's gonna have some synergy with Flay already, just from that. So yeah, really cool stuff as well. It has 40% Frostbite chance effectiveness for this one here. They're also changing a little bit the putrid bombs here, and you are casting, you are leaving behind one putrid bomb every time you evade or you use a traversal skill. Keep in mind with Reaper form, Lich can use Transplant, can use the Rip that you're getting from the Reaper form, and you have, of course, your evade charges as well. So if you scale cooldown, you can have a lot of those putrid bombs out at the same time, and they explode, not at the same time, but you can keep popping them, and they explode only after 1 second. So yeah, this can actually apply quite a bit. We have another change for the putrid bombs here, and they have 250% effectiveness of your chance to poison on hit. Like with 500% effectiveness, you can get like 17 poisons from one hit, from one putrid bomb. So there is a chance this could be interesting and useful if you just evade around and use your Rip and stuff like that, and they explode and they apply a lot more poisons on single target. We'll see about that, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. We're getting another node for Aura of Decay, which is faster. This one I'm a little bit on the fence because it requires you to remain stationary to get those faster stacks, and then you're getting more damage per stack. We'll see about that. I don't think this is a very good one, but yeah. Now, of course, we talked about passives. This is the biggest change overall in the game that we have so far for Season 3. And they are changing basically globally all of the dual wield nodes that we have, for Sentinel, for Spellblade, for Rogue, etc, etc. Now, all of those nodes, they allow you to dual wield certain items, certain weapons, excuse me. So, and they also give you 9% more damage taken. Now, that 9% becomes 8%, which is very nice, but we also get 20% increased attack and cast speed. It is very strong getting this part over here, because it means that, first of all, for example, for Sentinel, whenever you are dual wielding, you are kind of forced into the ends of the Sentinel main tree to get, Blade Dancer and get that extra attack and cast speed, because you don't have that. But now you can still do that, and boost your attack and cast speed even more. If you don't need that, you can invest in some other good things as well. And it is very powerful that we are also getting a cast speed, because that could promote more dual wield casting build for, you know, maybe Void Knight, maybe even Paladin, and of course for our Lich here as well. Right? So very powerful thing as well. We might even do dual wield casting spellblades. Who knows? Like, it's a very powerful node. I absolutely love this node already, and we've been asking for the dual wield node to change and become better. We are finally getting our wish here. Accursed Fist, this has already been revealed in the previous weeks. So yeah, we are getting an incredible amount of Lich rate here, and it ends at 60% health. Now there is another node that we don't have here, but it has been revealed already. It gives you 25% more life. That's a more damage multiplier with 5 points, and it also makes your character so that it always counts as low life, and you cannot go above 50% of your life and your ward. That means that with those two nodes combined, you will always have Lich available to you. Basically, it is overlaid from PoE1, and yeah, it's just a very powerful mechanic. This is also extremely high Lich already, like 6% is very high, and you get better Lich rate and stuff like that. So it is very strong to have, and we get my personal favorite passive node right now from Lich, Impact Ward, which is less damage over time taken. Always fantastic, right? It's 4% per point, so we are getting 20% generic less damage over time taken. And of course, this will also apply to the Aura of Decay, right? And we are getting an amazing threshold. All damage over time taken bypasses ward. Now this, with Accursed Fist and the passive that I already talked about, can make you so that all of the damage over time taken is going to your life, which you will have your overlays to keep it going, right? And your ward, it will always remain as a buffer on your EHP for you know, big hits and stuff like that. Another benefit of that is that for those that are familiar with the stun avoidance formula in the game, which is a big problem with a lot of ward builds, hybrid builds, etc. It takes account your maximum hit points and your current ward, right? So one of the issues that we have on ward builds lately, it's that you're taking a couple of hits, or you're taking a few dots from damage over time. Your current ward is going down a little bit, and then you're getting stun locked because your stun avoidance formula at that point is very bad. With this node though, the damage over time will not matter because you will be leeching through it very easily, and your ward will still be there as current ward for that stun avoidance formula, and your maximum hit points of course will be boosted 25% more from the other Lich passive. So a lot of good things about this node. I think we're gonna see some extremely powerful and giga tanky Lich builds with those three nodes. They do require you to build around them though, but yeah, this node is already good enough to take on a live build, because on a live build you don't really care about the threshold, you just care about the 20% less damage over time taken. So yeah, it's a very powerful node on all fronts. Now, Necromancer is also getting a nice powerful node here at the end of the tree, and that's Intelligence and Vitality with 5 points, and we are getting a threshold here that increased crit chance per Intelligence 1%, and we are also getting 1% more damage over time for our minions. So minions are getting crit and damage over time scaling out of this node with a 3-point threshold. So very nice here. It's something that we have been missing and wanting for the Necro for a long time. They're also changing effigies, which is right now a complete garbage passive, and they're making it so that 10% of the incoming damage to you is going to be redirected to the lowest health minion, and with the threshold, whenever one of your minions dies, your other minions restore 20% of that minion's maximum health as well. So This is a very nice defensive layers. It's something that we wanted for a Necro. It's something that the Necromancer tree is actually lacking quite a bit, right? So we are having some really fantastic things coming into play for both Lich and Necro. I'm super excited to play both of those masters again because they're both some of my favorite masters, and it has been a long time since I played it. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Let me know what do you think about these changes, which one is your favorite, and if you have anything to add on my analysis, and I'll catch you on the next one tomorrow.